you're wondering how I will afford the therapy that I need thanks to these books, I will be billing the author. Hello, my lovely friends, it's Margaret. Welcome back to my channel. Today, it is time for another Fresh Reads Friday. If you are new to my channel, Fresh Reads Friday is the occasional review series that I do where I talk about a book that I have read recently, really enjoyed, and I think that you may enjoy too. Today, I will be reviewing We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars by Hafsah Faizell. So together, these books form the Sands of Arawiya duology. The first book, We Hunt the Flame, follows Nasir and Zafira. Nasir is known throughout the land as the Prince of Death. He is the Sultan's son, and he has been trained as an assassin. We also have Zafira, who is the hunter of Demonhun, but nobody actually knows that it's her. They just think that it is this mysterious, cloaked figure. So Zafira ends up being kind of pulled into this search for a magical book that would be able to bring magic back to the land of Arawiya. It's on this island called Shar. No one has been able to get to it because of this very dark, magical forest that basically breaks people's minds if they try to go into it. Except for some reason, Zafira is able to go through this forest. So she ends up getting called and going to the island of Shar, and then Nasir gets drawn into this because his father wants him to track down Zafira, help her get the book, and then kill her and take the book home with him so that they will have control of this book. So I really enjoyed this duology. You know, for me, my favorite thing about any book is going to be the relationship between the main couple, and I think that that was done really well. I also think that Nasir and Zafira's individual storylines were really well fleshed out, and they really do have character arcs that carry them through the plot of this novel. They got 4 and 5 stars respectively from me. I thought that Hafsah Faizell does a really good job of setting up these characters, setting up this world, and putting you in this plot that has you flipping pages and wanting to know what's going to happen next. Obviously, my favorite part about this was the relationship, the romance that we have between these two main characters that was really stressful in parts, but like, it's fine, I'm fine, everything's fine. We will start out with the characters in this novel. Obviously, as a character-driven reader, that is the thing that really makes a book for me, and let me tell you, these characters made this book for me. We have this wonderful fleshed out cast that ends up making this friend group. If you are someone who likes like characters that banter with each other, that are snarky but will also have each other's back, characters that really end up building a bond and inside jokes and all of that good stuff, like, this is going to be such a good book for you to pick up. She does a fantastic job building each character's motivation, making that really clear, making it so that you understand why they are doing the things that they are doing, even if you don't necessarily agree with what they are doing. She really digs into how imperfect people can be and how the ties that bind us really affect us and make us, like, they influence our choices. We see people making good decisions, we see people making bad decisions just based on what they need and how they think those needs can be met. We have the brash, bright, cocky one. We have the really broody, like, dark, tortured one. We have the person that's just trying to get through the day and deal with like what's going on around with them while also dealing with their own insecurities. We just have the full spectrum of like human experience in this one friend group. Nasir and Zafira are the main points of view in We Hunt the Flame, but they are not the only characters in the story moving the plot along. She does a really good job of taking all of these characters and making them important to the plot in some way, setting up the different conflicts that each character is feeling, and then building on those conflicts as we get into book 2, building on the tensions, building on the different like emotions and events that affect them from the last book. Speaking about events, let's talk about the plot. It is so well structured. It's never like you start with a base understanding of what you think the plot is in it, but it never stays there. She does a really good job of what I would call stacking the stakes. Like, we start out with an initial problem, an initial thing that needs to happen, and then Hafsah Faizell takes it and goes, okay, well, yes, you need to do this, but then I am going to stack this on this other thing on top of it so that it makes things 10 times more difficult. You could call it raising the stakes, but like everything just kind of builds on itself like Lego blocks. All of the stuff that was there at the beginning is still there, but it's there complicating the other goals that we now know we need to meet. And I think this is also a really good example of internal versus external plot. Like in the first book, we have that external plot of Zafira needing to go and find this book. But as they go through these external events, we also have internal plot that is happening with each of our point of view characters as they are being like dragged through the mud as they're going through this plot. As for the world building, I absolutely adored it. I loved what she gives us in the first book and how she builds upon it in the second book. In We Hunt the Flame, we don't have a lot of time with the larger world of Arawia. Most of what we know about this land is through things that the characters are telling us as they are going through Shar trying to find this book. It's a very self-contained environment in that first book, and then as we get into the second book, we then get to experience the things that the characters would mention or talk about or like throw out as part of their backstory in the first book. Like, it's just such a good example of expanding your world building and expanding upon what you have built. You can tell that Hafsah Faizell really sat down and thought about the world that she was building, thought about the culture and the customs and the mythology, the folklore, all of the history that would be involved in creating this country of Arawia and the magic system that Arawia has and how it's influenced different things. We especially get glimpses of like how magic has shaped the land in the first book, but we really see things kind of expand in the second one, where we are now grappling with the idea of magic coming back. It is also well thought out and connected, and her writing style really lends itself to the world that she is building. She has very lush, descriptive writing. She knows how to write sentences. She knows how to write emotions and dialogue and all of that, and it all fits so seamlessly with this world that she is creating. Everything is very vibrant. You're drawn into this setting. She just really paints a picture of the world around these characters in a way that fits so seamlessly with what is happening in the plot at that time. It's just a beautiful, lush, rich world that I had no issues picturing in my head, and that is not something that happens very easily for me. A lot of the time I am able to see characters and what they are like actions way more easily than I am able to see setting, but in this I did not have to expend a lot of effort into visualizing what the surroundings looked like. Those are my thoughts on We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars. If you are feeling chatty, go ahead and let me know what your thoughts are on these books in the comments, whether you've read it, whether you're interested in it, just let me know. If you are not feeling chatty, but you still want to let me know that you watched to the end of the video, go ahead and leave me the bow and arrow emoji, since Zafira is an archer. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you enjoyed this video, I will have other reviews that I have done on my channel over here, as well as whatever the latest video on my channel is. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye! Arawia, Arawia, Arawia.